Okay, so you're sold on the idea that you need to delegate or die, like we talked about in the first video of this series. And you can start to see delegation not as a way of dumping an odious task on someone else and running in the other direction, but instead an opportunity to develop your team and grow the capability of your organization. The next obvious question is, what exactly do I delegate? And that's what we're going to be talking about here in the next few minutes. When a race car driver pulls in for a pit stop, there's a lot that has to happen in a very short period of time. Stop in exactly the right place, jack up the car, remove the lug nuts, change the wheels on both sides, replace the lug nuts, get fuel into the tank. What would happen if the driver got out of that car and tried to help change the tire? Makes no sense, right? His job is to drive the car, and he has teammates to do all those other things. Not only is he wasting everyone's time by getting out of the car and trying to help, he's introduced confusion about who's supposed to be doing what. And he's lost focus on his primary responsibility of driving the car. With that scenario in mind, we can start to answer the question of what you should delegate as a leader by figuring out what it is that's keeping you from focusing on your primary task of leading. Doing this will take a little bit of homework, since we want to find tasks that serve the dual purpose of making life easier for you while developing the strength and capability of your team. Let's start with you and see if we can figure out what the time vampires are that are sucking away at your productive hours. A great way to get a handle on answering this question is to make a list of all the things you do every day, and I mean everything. Recently I used a spreadsheet when I had this problem. Everything I did I put down the left-hand column. Across the top I put categories or types of work like logistics, administration, or meetings. As I finished each task I put in the number of minutes I spent and had them automatically total at the bottom and feed a simple pie chart. After a couple of weeks you end up with a pretty impressive diagram that will clearly show you where your time is going. Now you can see that if you're spending 30% of your time doing logistics functions, you got your race car driver trying to help change the tire again, which means that might be a good area to zero in on to look for tasks to delegate. Take a closer look at the areas that demand a high time commitment but are low payoff for you as a leader, and start looking for specific tasks that you can delegate. Here's a short list of the kinds of tasks you can effectively delegate to others that will benefit you both. Routine tasks are good because they're clear and predictable, and there's probably a set procedure or system to follow in order to get them done, so others can be trained to do them too. If you pick interesting tasks, your teammates will be more likely to be motivated to do them. Look for tasks that maybe others can do better. Perhaps it's bookkeeping or design. Let them play to their strengths, and maybe you can learn a thing or two when you come back to check up on them. Delegating whole tasks, like special projects, is a good idea. It makes it clear what has to be done, and your teammate's not dependent on others for the final outcome. Look for time-consuming tasks. If you think of yourself as a $50 an hour executive, try not to get caught up doing minimum wage actions. And consider delegating tasks that you are not directly responsible for. Even if maybe you like doing them, it might be time to let go so that you can focus on more important things. Just as some tasks are ripe for picking and handing to a capable teammate, others are not good to give away. These include sensitive or confidential tasks. If you've been entrusted with sensitive information, it would be a mistake to hand that task off to someone else if it would violate that trust. And it'd be a long time trying to rebuild that trust again. Leadership tasks should always stay with you. Things like vision and strategy, goal setting, and leading people. These are not tasks to give away, or else you're starting to abdicate your position and responsibility as a leader. Don't pass down poorly defined tasks either. If you can't clarify it, maybe it's not ready to be handed off, or even done at all. As a leader, you owe clarity to your teammates. And hang on to tasks for which you are directly responsible. If it's in your job description, or your boss asks you to specifically handle it, you should probably be doing it. Delegating right doesn't have to be hard, but it does take a little bit of deliberate time and effort at the front end to ensure the result you get on the other side is the one you need. Picking the right task to delegate is a huge part of this. Now that you have your list of tasks that you'd like to delegate that will save you time and develop your team, in the next video we'll talk about how to actually go about delegating those tasks so that the job gets done right and you have the peace of mind to focus on driving that race car. For the next video in this series, click on the links on this page. If you want to plug into the many other free leadership videos over on my YouTube channel, you can check those out as well. And maybe give me a thumbs up or a comment if you thought this video was helpful or you had a question. Good luck with your delegating, and thanks for watching.